So I wanted to talk to you about appreciation today and why appreciation changed everything in my life. Everything. And honestly, it's been such a long journey for me to get here. So maybe some of what I'm going to be sharing is just going to be like, oh, Anel, I'm not there yet. And that's cool too, right? I'm not saying that you have to kind of like skip your journey. I just want to share with you guys where I am in my journey and why this has really opened me up to a space where I'm not angry anymore, where I'm not resentful anymore, where I'm not in pain anymore. And it took me a long time to get here, but it's that one little word, appreciation. So if you're watching this right now, just write down on a piece of paper, appreciation, and let's dive into it. Well, first of all, I think like so many of us, I hopped onto the gratitude bandwagon many moons ago, and gratitude was amazing, right? When we start to focus on what am I really grateful for in life, compared to where I was before that, which was, where am I frustrated in my life? That was a huge shift for me in and of itself, to go from frustration and lack and only observing that which I don't have to being really grateful for what I've got. And I understand that the energy is already an improvement, and every time that we actually improve our energy on anything, then we receive more. So I think that gratitude is what humanity was ready for about 10 years ago, from where we were before that. And before that, a lot of us were in scarcity mindset, a lot of us were in a competitive mindset. And so gratitude really served us greatly to go from that into gratitude, and more people started seeing as abundance started flowing into their lives, and it was just absolutely pure magic. So that was probably the very first step that I had to take on my personal journey in order for me to open up from, where I was, which was pretty fucked up if we have to go back a decade ago. But it's all good, right? It's all good and it's all perfect. And then the next thing for me was really to go from gratitude into forgiveness. Now, forgiveness had two parts for me. Forgiveness, first of all, was when I had to learn how to forgive other people. I had to, hey, darling, it's so good to see you here. I had to go from being really angry with a lot of people, and if you know my story, I come from an abusive background, so I had reason to be angry, right? But I had to really go from the anger into forgiveness, and forgiving other people was the first step for me. But then I had to learn how to forgive myself. Because at the end of the day, I would look at myself and go, but why did I allow this to happen to me? Why did I, tolerate being treated so badly for such a long time? So that was step 3 for me. So it was gratitude, and then having to learn how to forgive other people. And then I really had to learn how to forgive myself. And a big part of that was the full moon forgiveness ritual that I often share with you guys. And honestly, that was such a lightness that was brought to me, because for the first time I realized that we have this story going on in our minds, and we make the story really complex, right? So when we start becoming aware of the story, then the scenario that we create is not only the person who is hurting us, so they have a role to play in it, and then there's us who has a role to play in it, and then we make it even more complex in our minds, and we kind of go, well, who else was witness to this whole thing that didn't interfere? And so then all of a sudden we have to start forgiving all of them as well, in order for us to clear the energy around one single event, which is a lot of forgiveness to do. But you know what? It was my journey, and so that is the next thing that I had to go into, was forgiving of the person, forgiving of myself, and then forgiving of everybody else that was in the scenario as well, whether it be my mom or my brother or friends of the family or the extended family. Like, there's a lot of witnesses in our lives, and we tend to kind of have like this little thing going on that, you know, why did they not rescue me either? And so we have to then do forgiveness for all of them. And then I got to the next stage of my personal journey, where it was I had to take full responsibility of my life. I am of the opinion now, at this time of my journey, that I am the sole creator of my life experience. And the pain comes from us actually shaming, blaming, or making our experience bad or wrong in any way, instead of understanding it's just the journey, and the journey is perfect, and the journey unfolds divinely in a way that really supports us in receiving all that we are asking for, whether consciously or unconsciously. Which meant that everything that had ever happened in my life happened for me. It happened for me. Like, I came to this life to have a specific experience. There were specific things that I desired to learn so that I could consciously choose what I want to experience next. Now, when we are not conscious of this, what seems to be happening is that we create a lot of contrast, aka a lot of shit, aka a lot of pain. And the purpose of the contrast, the purpose of the not so nice experiences, is in service to us getting very clear on what we actually desire. Like, everything that happens is so we can get more clear on what we actually do desire. So now, instead of making all this stuff bad, instead of making all this stuff negative that has brought you to this point in time, what you can do is to go, okay, so if I have to sift through all of my experiences and understanding that they all happened for me, then which of those experiences that I really enjoy, that I want to consciously bring more of that into my life, and which of those experiences sucked? Like, I don't want to ever experience that again, which is wonderful, because then what do I desire to experience instead? Like, and this is the only time I recommend that you're actually looking at what has happened in the past. It's just for you to get the gold. Because when I went into appreciation of everything in my life, of every relationship in my life, because our relationships really are just here in service to us, then what I discovered was all along, I desired to fall in love with myself again. And that is where I started choosing to live from a space of greater self-love. And that impacts every decision that I make now. I wouldn't have received that if it was not for appreciation. And when I started connecting to what appreciation truly is for me, I no longer had the need to forgive anyone or anything. Because every single person that comes into my life experience, in whatever form that is in service to me. And I am so appreciative of that. Because I understand that the universe only desires for me to have whatever I'm asking for. And the more consciously we start doing this, the less we ask unconsciously for contrasting experiences, and the more we get to ask consciously for what we really want. Now, I'm also going to say this, it's not going to happen if you make yourself wrong in any way. Like, I believe that there's a difference between us having high standards for ourselves and beating down on ourselves all the time. I used to do the latter really well. Oh my God, Elle, why are you so slow? Why is this taking you so long? Why can't you be further ahead? Why can't you be prettier? Why can't you be skinnier? Why can't you be smarter? Why can't you be faster? Like, it's crazy making. And it's senseless. It's not loving in the least. So yes, I'm continuously going, I want more, I want better, I want bigger, I want greater impact, I want better connections, I want more meaningful connections, I want deeper connections. But it doesn't shame where I am in the least, or how long it has taken me to get here, because my journey is divine and it's perfect. And do I still have a long way to go? I hope so, because I'm not ready to die yet. And I think that once we've nailed it, that's it. Like soul goes, okay, I've nailed it. There's nothing left. So I'm going to just press the reset button and come back and do it again. So like, stop wanting everything to be perfect, because when it's perfect, that's your time is up. Instead, what would it feel like if you dropped into true appreciation of everything that has gotten you to this point? Like true appreciation where you don't have to forgive other people anymore, because they were just little pawns in what you are creating in your life. What would it feel like if you dropped into true appreciation of all your little intricacies and your little imperfections and your little oddities and your emotions and your hormones and your crazy and your wildness, and you just dropped into true appreciation of all of those, and you celebrated them, and from this space you start saying, wow, I'm really excited, because if I could get to this space, imagine what's lying ahead of me. If I could create that much contrast, imagine how much brilliance is lying ahead of me, because I know exactly what I don't want. And thank you, Jesus, for getting me to a place where I can go, all right then, I've had enough of the contrast. Now I'm ready for fun. But we're not going to shift from the contrast to the fun unless we drop into appreciation, and unless we kind of go, okay, if I don't want to create that anymore, what do I want to create, and how do I want to feel about that? And I get to choose to feel that right now. I get to choose to feel romance right now. I get to choose to feel abundance right now. I get to choose to feel freedom right now. I get to choose to feel safe right now. I get to choose to feel fun right now. I get to choose to feel love right now, in this very moment, because emotions, my darling, are all inside of us. They are accessible to us right now. And the only reason you think you can't feel it is because of the stories that you are telling yourself of what still needs to happen before you can feel that. Now, you can cling to those stories if it serves you. I just found it was exhausting and kind of like, I'm getting way too grey for me to have to go through all of that shit when I just want to feel it right now. And the universe, in its beauty and brilliance, has already created little things where you access those emotions right now, like drinking coffee. I get a lot of joy and satisfaction out of drinking coffee. I get a lot of joy and satisfaction out of riding my bike. I get a lot of freedom out of riding my bike. I get a lot of freedom and connection and joy and satisfaction from walking on the beach. Like, all of those things are available to us right now, and you get to do them right now by just dropping into the experience of life. Like the experience of life. What would it feel like to experience romancing yourself by taking an everyday shower and just being fully present? What would it be like to experience true connection right now with yourself by just taking out your journal and listening to the voice that's inside of you? What would it be like for you to experience safety right now by just closing your eyes and going, right now, in this moment, in this second, I am alive and I am well and I am loved. And therefore I am safe because right now in this moment I have everything that I need. What would it feel like for you to just give yourself permission to liberate yourself from any of the stories that's keeping you in pain and frustration and disempowerment? Because it's all just stories, darling. It's all just stories. Like, do you get that? Like, your entire life you are creating based on the stories that you're telling yourself in your head. And I know that they feel real, and I know that they feel true, and I know that you think that they make up your identity, but they don't, because at any given moment you can choose to just release those stories and start writing a new one. You know, part of what I say in the journal is that everything that you're seeing right now in your present moment is not your present moment, it's your past. Because everything that you're seeing right now in your physical reality is a culmination of every thought, of every feeling that you've had before now. It's just giving you the physical expression of what was. But if you are taking this as your reality for what is right now, then you will create more of this, and your tomorrow will basically look the same as today. So stop looking at what is and only focus on what you want to create next. That's your current state. Because your current thoughts, your current feelings, your current stories is what is creating your next moment. Do you get that? It's like really powerful when you drop into that. And then you will ask yourself, why do I want to regurgitate what was and what is, which is what was? Because it's just going to give me what is coming next. And is that really what I want to create? Or do I just want to drop into appreciation for everything that has gotten me to this point and then consciously choose what I want to create next? And then you get to surround yourself with crazy fuckers like me who actually don't talk about what is, but only what we are creating next as if it already is. And people will look at you and go, they're a little bit loony. But so what? Because they're still old school thinking. Like, we have got to stop playing in their paradigm because we are worried about how we appear to those people who don't want to question the norm, who don't want to question everything we've been told to up to this point. You want to surround yourself with people who are really tuned in and tapped on and who are ready to create the next of what is possible for us at this leading edge of time. Because we live in a remarkable time. Oh my God, I believe we live in a time when the system is crumbling and we are instrumental in that. I honestly believe that my generation, that our generation are here to bring the change. And it's only going to happen if more and more of us starts questioning everything and start changing the story for us to start having different conversations. Like, therapy was great for the previous generation. I believe that appreciation is what will serve us going forward. I believe that conscious creation is what will serve us going forward. Because we're awake enough at this stage of the fight to start doing that. Like, let's start doing that. And I also believe that this whole online world, which kind of freaks out most of us. Like, it's scary to come into the online world. I believe that the universe has created this for us because we are still few and far between, and we need to be connected. We need to be able to howl in the darkness and have somebody connect with us on the other side of the globe, because that's how we like weave these beautiful silver threads of love around the globe. We're not going to do that by only connecting with people in our neighborhoods. And I honestly think this is why the World Wide Web, like this beautiful spider web, has been created for us alphas to connect, to take our little silver threads and connect to the other side of the world. And every thread that we put out there, I infuse with love. I am determined to just wrap the globe in little strands of love with every person that I am fortunate enough to connect with. How can we not be appreciative of that? And then you kind of look at this whole online world that's being created. And yes, there's a lot of people on there that's using it with their scissors to kind of go, I'm going to cut you down to size. Whatever. You cannot cut the thread of love. You cannot cut a thread of love. It's invincible. It's invincible. All they're doing is they're cutting themselves off from the possibility of love that is existing at this time. And that is their journey. We do not take responsibility for that. All we take responsibility for is continuously showing up day after day and saying, universe, where can this thread of love possibly go? And then I just let it go out, and the universe in her beauty just takes it and lands it wherever it needs to land, wherever it's ready to be received on the day. Honestly, guys, that's why I show up every day. That's why I write blogs every day and do little videos every day and put out offers every day. It's not my responsibility where it lands. I'm just like so overflowing with love. I'm just spraying out my little webs every single day, and the universe has them land wherever they're ready. That's all we are here to do. And what an amazing time we are living in. But I don't know about you guys, I'm just ready to bypass everything that they've told us, all the little steps they've told us that we have to go through in order for us to get to a space of thrive. Like, I can't be fucked with 7 stages of grief. I can't be bothered anymore with forgiveness work. I'm kind of like, I'm past that. And if my showing up and sharing that is what gives you permission to own how powerful you really are, and that you don't have to do any of the steps anymore that we've always been told that we have to do, and you can just choose right now in this moment to thrive, to be happy, to blossom, to grow, to love yourself a little bit more, even if all you get to love today is your hands. That's progress, darling. Like, thriving is progress. Thriving is like just little steps forward. Just little steps forward. That's thriving. It's not the destination. And honestly, appreciation, more than gratitude, more than forgiveness, has been my liberation. Like, if you're not there yet, then by all means do the gratitude and do the forgiveness. But you could do that if you really feel, if you really have a belief that that is what it's going to take for you. But the belief is just that story you're telling yourself like over and over and over again, right? And then whatever we tell ourselves, because we're such powerful creators, we find evidence for. You'll always find evidence for every belief. I'm just kind of choosing, like I said to myself, honey, darling, gorgeous woman, like you had 45 years of doing it the hard way. Like, how about just giving yourself a break and give yourself permission to do it the easy way? What would that look like? What would that feel like? And yes, I had to go a lot of having to look right or be the expert or whatever the other shit is that I had going on. Because quite frankly, I don't care about any of that anymore. The only thing that's important to me at this stage of the fight is that I wake up in the mornings happy and that I get to share this with other people so they have the opportunity to choose for themselves. I can't convince anybody of anything. I can only show up and share my message from where I'm at and provide pockets, like moments of introspection for choices for people. And that's all that I am responsible for. What they then do with that, that's up to them. And it's perfect as well. Like, what do you need to give yourself permission for today? Do you need to give yourself permission to drop into appreciation? Do you need to give yourself permission to be happy? Do you need to give yourself permission to love yourself, all of you? Do you need to give yourself permission to remember who you are? Because maybe, like me, you've just made so many of your parts wrong that you have forgotten some of them. Do you guys know that when I left my marriage, I didn't know what color pots to buy? I was like, I don't know what colors I like. Because for decades, all I did was blue and green, right? All the boy colors. Now, just about everything around me is pink. I didn't even think I liked pink 10 years ago. I love pink. Love pink. What do you need to give yourself permission for today? And then borrow my permission until you find your own permission. Because you really can be, do, and have anything you desire. Anything you desire. I hope this has served you. Even if you're watching the replay, what's your biggest takeaway from this today? Like, takeaways are important. Like, whatever you watch, whatever you read, do it with the intention of receiving something from it. And then allow yourself to receive that. And then affirm it publicly if you're brave enough. So that you can actually say, make a declaration to the universe, this is what I'm taking away from this moment. I appreciate the fact that you've put this in front of me, universe.